So here we have two hot glue guns. We have a white that's a low temperature and a blue that's a high temperature. And obviously the low temperature is going to heat up the hot glue to a relatively lower temperature that just gets the glue hot enough that it turns into a liquid form, whereas the high temperature is going to make the glue considerably hotter. It's going to be much more liquid when it comes out of the tip, and it now has the ability to kind of flow and fill in spaces. So the white is used a little bit more for tacking things in place and holding things in place. The blue gives you a little bit more structural stability to the glue joint. But these are two tools where we never really want to use these for something that requires a lot of strength to it, because they just don't work that well to hold things together really strongly. The hot glue itself is not a really strong adhesive. It just has the ability to kind of hold on like Velcro, and then it could come undone. So if you need anything that it requires a lot of structural support to it, these are not good options, but they're very good options when we're trying to attach two things together that may not be able to be glued together using either white glue or wood glue. So they work the exact same way. There's a heating element that's inside, and the hot glue gets pushed into that heating element and is liquefied, and then is pushed out the metal tip. Now the metal tip is also going to be heated to keep the glue in a liquid form. So that's one of the reasons why the first rule is we never touch that metal tip. Even if it's cold, or you assume that it's cold, or you know that it's cold, it's always good practice to never touch either of these metal tips. So the low temp gun will get the glue up to around 250 degrees Fahrenheit. The high temp can get the hot glue up over 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you've ever been burned by hot water before, this actually gets warmer than hot water. And this one, if you've ever been burned by a toaster oven or an oven before, this will get as hot, if not hotter, and that's where the burns come from. Now, hot glue itself is very sticky, which is why burns can actually be more significant, because the glue gets stuck to you and it transfers all that energy into your skin, and that's why the burns can be so severe. So the very first rule, we never touch the metal tip. And the second rule is you always assume that the hot glue gun is hot. Even if it's in the cabinet, somebody may have just unplugged it and put it back into the cabinet, and you go to reach in, you grab it over here, and now you've touched the metal tip. And there's usually glue or residue around the tip. The blue one, if we look at it a little bit closer, you can see there's a lot of glue, and that glue will get hot enough to burn you, which is why we always want to grab it by the handle and never by this end. So we're always going to assume that it's hot, and that will eliminate most of the injuries. Now, as you're using this tool, we want to make sure that we're working in an open area. We don't want to put anything over the top of the glue gun to hide it, or have somebody not know that it's there. You'll notice that the white glue gun has a stand on it, so you can use the stand to prop it up like this. It kind of hides the tip a little bit, and when not in use, you can fold that away if you wanted to.